Now, he has been a junior doctor, a GP and an award-winning stand-up comic. But you will probably know him best from one of TV's biggest game shows.
Yeah, Paul Sinha is one of the experts on ITV's The Chase, of course, better known as the Cinnamon. And it's a quiz he's been part of for almost 15 years. We're going to chat to him in just a minute, but first, let's have a look.
Big fan of Kate Bush, to be perfectly honest with you. Well, was a very famous song at the time. Yeah. The chorus went something like, wow, 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 unbelievable. Do-do-do-do-do. But other than that, I didn't really know the answer to that question.
Who was #1 in the charts in November 1984?
Flex. Well, that was actually May.
Making it up.
So it was Chaka Khan, I Feel For You, with a harmonica by Stevie Wonder, a rap by Melly Mel, written by Prince. Chaka Khan, I Feel For You was #1 in November 1984. That's true. Now, as you can imagine, when I decided I wanted to pursue a career as a full-time stand-up comedian, my parents thrilled for me, absolutely delighted, simply couldn't be happier. They ring me every day of my life to tell me this, that when they arrived on this beautiful island in 1968, it wasn't their dream come true, that their only son had a British education and became a clown.
Paul is here with us on the sofa. Good morning.
Good morning, John.
Lovely to have you here. Thanks for coming in. So we've seen you there quizzing. We've seen you there as a comedian. But should we start talking about your life as a doctor? Because I love this quote in your book. You say, my great-granddad was a doctor, my late-granddad was a doctor, my dad's a retired doctor, my mum's a very big fan of Holby City. It was in your blood, medicine, basically.
Very much so, and I'm being unfair on my mum because she was actually a midwife as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they met. So I owe my life to medicine, and yet I also owe my life to medicine in another way, which was I needed to give up medicine and the dreams of my parents to fulfil my other ambitions in life. So it's a weird paradox.
That was a huge turning point in your life, wasn't it? What was that like, walking away from that?
It happened gradually. It wasn't a sudden thing. It happened gradually, and it had been on the cards. I think that's fair to say. I wasn't really cut out to be a doctor for the whole of my life. That wasn't the dream. It wasn't that I was a bad doctor. It just wasn't me. And I was very lucky that stand-up comedy offered me a way out. Not everyone gets to escape from the job that they feel straitjacketed by. And I was I consider myself very lucky.
And you were combining the two, were you? So you were doing shifts as a medic and
for many years I was both. And
yeah.
Then my agent put a bit of pressure on me and said, you've got to make a choice. And my agent was correct. I did have to make a choice.
And was that, at the time, incredibly scary? Or because it was the right thing to do, was it just for you like the next step?
Do you know what? Everything's scary in life. I'm not going to put myself on a pedestal just because of that. You know, changing anything. My parents arrived from West Bengal in 1968. That must have been incredibly scary. And they weren't fleeing persecution. They were economic migrants, which is a phrase that's much used with spite these days. And people forget that society is built on the courage and wanderlust, if you like, of economic migrants who decided to get up and change their life just like that. Everyone changes their life at some stage, and I'm not special for having done so.
It's interesting, that word scary. I'm wondering, how scary is it for you to put yourself out there in this book? Because it's very honest and open about your sexuality, about your career, about your health. I mean, has it been quite a difficult thing to do in some ways, writing?
Difficult in that it's taken absolutely ages. This all started... I had a blockbuster year in 2019. I got married, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and I won the British Quiz Championships all in the same 12-month period. Within a year of that, I'm in bed with COVID during lockdown, thinking I need something to occupy my mind. So I decided to write a memoir. And then when lockdown eased, I kind of forgot about it. And then in 2022, publishing companies started showing an interest in my autobiography, and I got back to writing it again. And it's been a labour of love. And as you say, it's very honest and frank and full of confessions and full of some brutal observations about failure. I mean, my life has been built on failure.
But you're very self-critical in it, aren't you? I mean, do you feel it was really important to be like that?
It's not disingenuous. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and for that I'll be honest and self-critical. What I've tried to explain in the book is that these mistakes have led to good things. Everything in life leads to another door opening, no matter how severely the first door is shut. another door will open as a result of failure. Struggling with medicine and then making bad life decisions throughout my life have ended up opening doors. So I kind of stumbled into the world of stand-up comedy and quizzing in a very fortuitous and serendipitous way.
You mentioned your Parkinson's diagnosis. That came about in a very specific way, didn't it? Just tell us what happened.
I woke up September 2017 with a frozen right shoulder, and it was treated as an orthopaedic problem for about a year and a half. Then I had an operation, an orthopaedic operation, in the beginning of 2019, and nothing got better. And my hero is actually a physiotherapist who was seeing me every week, who had the courage to say, I think something serious is going wrong. And then the next thing I know, I'm being seen by a specialist at the end of May 2019, and I'm told I've got Parkinson's disease. And fundamentally, it was a relief. It was devastating, of course, but it was a relief to have an explanation for everything that had been going on and an idea of what my next 20 years are likely to be like. It's nice to have some clarity of thought on what it's likely to be like, because a lot of people aren't as lucky as that.
And how are things? How are you doing at the moment? How's your health?
Well, I hope you'll agree. My medication seems to be controlling things quite well. I mean, this right hand does not work as well as this left hand. I can deal with that. As long as my brain functions and I can fulfil my dreams of being a stand-up comedian and a professional quizzer at the same time, I'm a happy man.
Is it the sort of situation, you talk about, you know, the dreams of being a stand-up comedian, but quizzing is how we first got to know you. What happens when you turn up at a quiz? Do people run?
I don't turn up at
No, I know,
anything
sure.
other than serious. I'm part of a netherworld, as I explained in the book, of serious quizzes. And in that world, I'm just another person. I'm just another person that takes it seriously. There are people that are better than me. There are people that are far worse than me. And there's always a mutual respect that everyone has for each other. It's not necessarily based on your television status, but based on what goes on behind the scenes with these clandestine tournaments and league matches and these things that go on behind the scenes. Is how you build your reputation.
It's like another world.
It is another. It's like Fight Club, essentially, for nerds.
But you could literally walk into any pub quiz in the country and clear the joint in seconds, couldn't you? I mean, people would
Absolutely
run...
not. That's not who I am. My skills are not pub quizzy. I'm no good at picture quizzes. I'm too old to be good at music quizzes. I'm all right at pub quizzes. My husband Oliver is actually much better than I am. And if we walk in together, then yeah, perhaps we'll clear the pub. But I can't win one on my own.
So how would you define your skill then? It's not like a picture, it's not music. What is
Facts.
it? Facts.
I love facts. I love interesting facts. I love boring facts. I love everything in between. I like facts. I'm good at words and I'm good at numbers. That's my skill set. I'm not good at, you know, if you show me a picture of a supermodel, I wouldn't know who they were.
OK, let's show him some pictures of us. And that hunger for fact and information and your medical background, those two things combined, has that made it harder, do you think, or easier to deal with the Parkinson's? Can you know too much?
Hasn't made any difference at all. I made a decision a long time ago that if I was a patient, I'd start from point zero, so as not to put the medical professional under any pressure or feel that they have to live up to something. As far as I'm concerned, when I'm with a doctor, I listen to every word they say and assume I know nothing.
Thank you so much for coming to chat to us.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with the health, good luck with the book, everything that you do. Busy man.
Yes. Paul's book, One Sinha Lifetime, is out on Thursday.
See what you did there. Very good.
Thank you.